Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's episode, which is Bethenny Frankel really spilling the tea on where she stands with NeNe, what is the deal with Andy Cohen, and is there a possible Bravo return for her, Carol, or NeNe herself? So before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says Real Housewives of New York alum Bethenny Frankel has been one of the biggest catalysts for drama in reality TV in the reality TV world as of late. This is largely due to her reality reckoning movement that seeks to make things fair for reality stars across the board. However, she has also been in the news recently thanks to NeNe Leakes removing all mention of Bethenny from her Instagram. This got fans talking about the idea that NeNe might be returning to Roa as producers work to put together a cast for season 16. Okay, side note on this, you guys. I think that Bethenny put her foot in her mouth when she talked about the reality reckoning and she entered the whole Scandival chat and erroneously sided with Rachel. And I think that it grew and it grew and it grew. It got bigger than what Bethenny thought it was. And now her ego won't let her say, you know what? I put my foot in my mouth and I kind of messed up. I don't really know what the hell I'm doing with this reality reckoning thing. I probably should just bow out and leave the chat. But her ego won't let her do that. So now she's doubling down with, doing an iHeartRadio podcast with Rachel, having NeNe Links on her iHeartRadio podcast Rewives and the whole, Bethenny Just Be podcast, and having dinner with a bunch of, sort of like bitter, scorned people from Bravo. Like, Bethenny, just hang it up, girl. Just hang it up. Just admit that you botched this. The whole reality reckoning got botched. The message was right. I do think that there should be a union for reality TV people. They should get residuals. There should be safe work environments. But that has nothing to do with what Bethenny has been doing with NeNe and Rachel. It's a big, hot mess. Okay? So now, Bethenny is responding to the claims that there is trouble between her and the former Roa darling. Not only that, but she claims to have text messages from Andy Cohen proving that the door is closed to NeNe returning. On top of that, Bethenny revealed who she thinks will never be invited back to Bravo. Recently, Bethenny discussed NeNe removing all mentions of the interview they did together on her Rewives podcast. And luckily for us, Big Wig Hello Drama posted on their TikTok page part of the episode. And you guys, I have you covered. I actually have that part. I have the clip so we can listen to that as well, okay? So before we listen to the clip, this is what I think is going on here. I think that Bravo or Andy or a producer or some combination of the three did reach out to NeNe. Bravo on Instagram refollowed NeNe. And I think that they did it because they want to discredit Bethenny and the whole reality TV reckoning. Rachel is already nothing but discredited. Like, that's a joke. But when it comes to NeNe does have an audience still that believes she's right and wants her back on Roa and will listen to her and ride for her. She still has a very dedicated audience. So I think that Bravo wanted to discredit Bethenny and the reality reckoning by getting NeNe to flip on her. And NeNe took the bait, and that's exactly what she did. She flipped on Bethenny. She went on her show, and then all of a sudden, she scrubbed her social media accounts, basically being like, I don't know her. Her and Bravo are now following each other on Instagram. Does that mean that Bravo is actually going to bring NeNe back? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they just dangled the carrot in front of NeNe. And of course, NeNe wants that check. She wants her 15 minutes of fame back. I'm not going to knock it. If you want that check, you want that check. However, don't in one side talk about how Bravo is so racist and favoritism and they're so horrible and it's so toxic. But then on the other hand, literally be two-faced and turn your back on everybody else the moment you think Bravo is going to take you back. Because do I think that there's racism and favoritism in a toxic work environment? Yes, I think that happens a lot in work environments, in corporations, in entertainment industry. So do I think what NeNe is saying is a lie? No. Do I think she actually cares? No. I think she weaponizes it when it's useful for her, but then she doesn't really care about it when she thinks that she's going to get a check. And to me, that's being very hypocritical. And again, that's why Bethenny keeps choosing the wrong people to be the quote face of this reality reckoning. So let's listen to what Bethenny had to say and put it down below what your thoughts are. Okay, here we go.
This is my opinion. I don't know anything. So NeNe, they call it scrubbed our interview here from her Instagram. I didn't know that, but people thought something of it. And only because people asked me, I asked her just to not be in the dark. And she was like, girl, every now and then I just clean up my Instagram. And I get that. She's allowed, maybe she's very specific about her Instagram and what it looks like. Maybe they don't like me. Maybe she doesn't want to be marketing this podcast long after it's even on. We're not marketing it now. It was on and she enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Like, NeNe doesn't have to be in the Bethenny business. And people were saying that maybe that means she's going back to the show and that I guess she followed Bravo or Bravo followed her. She said to me, girl, I haven't spoken to them and don't believe anything. I want what's mine and what's coming to me and what's fair. And I always follow Bravo. I think they just started following me. And you saw, I mean, Andy, I would never share personal texts, but Andy certainly has had a very strong opinion about NeNe, and I have thousands of texts to prove that. And at BravoCon, he acted like, he was always open to them making amends, but it was really her who wanted him to keep her name out of his mouth. She has been persona non grata at Bravo, and she has definitely been blackballed. That's a fact. I know that because I wanted to do something with her, and she was blackballed by Andy, by the production companies. Like, that's a fact. That happened. So time heals all wounds, and maybe now because that show isn't doing well, they would like to have her back or are thinking of her because Bravo is the land of, Jill Zarin recorded Andy on his own show, and he was so furious. Then he had her back, I think, in another sit down, and then he had her come back on Ultimate Girls Trip and do guest appearances. Like, I'm the only one who's probably really scorched the kingdom, myself and Carol. Andy will never bring Carol back for certain reasons that aren't totally specific, but I know that. And I believe that I am persona non grata, but it's also newer than the NeNe kingdom scorched. So I don't know where that all stands. But the truth is, if Bravo wanted NeNe back and NeNe wanted to go back, then she should go back. People who are enjoying their experience on The Housewives and being treated fairly or want to be there, I'm not paying their bills or their rent. NeNe said she hasn't worked in years. So if she wants to go back there and they want to follow her because they're courting her and their show's doing terribly, or vice versa, she wants to go back because they're going to give her what she wants and finally settle with her and give her money. Go with God. Go for yours. I don't care what anyone does. I've never been pro take anyone's junk food away. I believe in moderation. I have no personal gripe with Bravo or with Andy. I just called something out that was true and no one else really had the courage to say, and it totally landed and it was right. And many media enterprises are doing shows on it and very interested in the topic, but it doesn't define me. I left Housewives twice. I walked away from Bravo shows that were green lit and after that, and I just haven't wanted to be there. More so because I like this. I like non-traditional entertainment. I don't want to have a bunch of suits in a room, approve of something. I don't want network notes. I want something to go up when I want it to go up. Like, my body, my choice. That's it. Nothing deep. NeNe can do whatever she wants with her Instagram page. She can post whatever she wants. By the way, no one told her she had to promote the podcast anyway. A lot of people don't want to promote podcasts and we don't ask anybody to. and she was gracious enough to do it. But yeah, she doesn't like, she's not on the payroll. So she should do whatever she wants. And NeNe and I are great. So all good. That's complete drama and complete manufactured drama. And if in the event that NeNe is courting Bravo or vice versa, she's not going to call me and tell me. She doesn't owe me anything. But she has proactively reached out to say that she is not and they are not. So anything can happen in a courtroom and anything can happen on the Housewives.
Okay, Bethany. I mean, she is the queen of spin, non-traditional media. Just say social media, girl. Bethany, you are one of us now. You are a YouTuber and you're a podcaster and you're a content creator. You're one of us. You have a great TikTok, you have a great YouTube, you have a great podcast. You're a content creator. Stop trying to spin it like content to the people and, non-traditional blah blah blah. You're a social media influencer, Bethany, and it's fine. It's fine to just say, I am now a social media influencer and content creator, because what you would now have going on is a podcast, a YouTube channel, and TikTok. That makes you a social media influencer content creator. And that is totally fine. Because trust me, a lot of content creators and social media influencers are doing a hell of a lot better than these reality stars who are exploiting themselves, going broke, going to prison, being exposed, getting divorced, getting hospitalized over Ozempic use. They're doing way better. Just call yourself an influencer, Bethenny. That's what you are now. And the truth is, a lot of people are influencers now. A lot of people, a lot of A-list actors are now influencers with their podcasts and their skincare lines and their wellness routines. And I'm not knocking it, because I too am just that. I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel, I have Instagram and TikTok. I do wellness content. Bethenny, you and I are the same. Okay, except for I'm coming to get your followers, the follower count. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's growing and it's going to be great. So welcome to the club, Bethenny. It's all good. And don't worry, I don't think that Bravo is going to bring NeNe back. I think they dangled a carrot in front of her face to turn on you, and she did. But I think that, and I believe you, Bethenny, I do think that Andy has, in your private text message exchange, has said basically that he will never have NeNe back, because I think that's the truth of how he feels. And I don't think Bravo will either. I think once you sue Bravo and you sue NBC and you sue Andy in such a public and sloppy way, where you don't have your receipts in order, where you don't handle it in a certain way, you're not going to be asked back. She should have talked to Mariah Huck for advice. If you're going to sue Bravo, if you're going to sue NBC, you better have your ducks in a row, and you better do it in a very non-discreet, professional way, the way Mariah did. Mariah got her money. She is still that executive producer. She is still the creator of the show, and she is good. She's not out here flipping and dipping it and doing the absolute most, trying to get some clicks, views, and coins. Okay. Now, that's where I kind of think everything stands. What happened between Andy and Carol? I think it's probably something personal that happened, because I do know that Carol from, Real Housewives of New York did speak out very publicly against Andy, saying that he exploits women and the housewives for money, and they exploit the women, but the women don't get the right, compensation for it, the same old narrative story. So I think something deeper must have happened, which is what Bethenny is alluding to. And I think Bethenny is kind of not in denial, but I do think she's kind of in denial of, because she admits it. She's like, the Bravo won't have me back. I've scorched those bridges. But I do think that she's kind of still spiraling, because I don't think that this is what she thought was going to happen, or what she even meant to happen. I don't think Bethenny thought that she was going to burn all these bridges with Bravo and with NBC and whoever is in bed with them. I don't think she thought that was going to happen. I think she entered the Scandival chat in a very ignorant way. And by ignorant, I just mean not knowing. She spoke out of her mouth. She partnered with the wrong people. Partnering with Rachel, wrong road. Partnering with NeNe, wrong road. And she bit off more than she could chew. Don't forget, she also did the demand letter and lawsuit for NBC, trying to sue them, to create a union and expose them for all this stuff. I also think that was the wrong road, because I think that lawsuit was premature. And I'm not even sure if it was Bethenny's place to bring the lawsuit. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I want to know what you guys think on this one. What do you think about Bethenny saying that she has private text messages from Andy saying that they will never have NeNe back? Do you buy NeNe's excuse that she just likes to, clean up her Instagram account every now and then? Or are you like me and you think, no, Bravo dangled a carrot, aka a check, aka possibly coming back to Roa in your face. You took the bait, you flipped on Bethenny, and at the end of the day, you still don't have a contract. That's kind of what I think happened. And what do you think about Andy? Beefing with Carol, beefing with Bethenny, beefing with NeNe. What do you think about where he stands? Okay. And do you want Bethenny back? Do you want NeNe back? Do you want Andy out? What do you guys think? Put it down below. But before you do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.